Welcome. This is our Monday night winter teaching series on Thursday night. If you're watching, we have had the snowpocalypse. We've had snowmageddon, snowpocalypse, whatever you want to call it. I don't know when you're watching this, but we've just come out of the week of ice and snow, and we had to move our teaching to tonight because people were having internet issues and we couldn't log on to things. And so I'm so glad that you are here. And you know what? Tonight's the night it was supposed to happen, right? Tonight is the night that you are supposed to tune into this. So make sure you say hi in the chat, tag a friend, let us know that you're here. Cannot wait to share tonight's guest with you. So let me pull up our announcements. Here we go. We have our women's retreat coming up, guys. I've been working, I told y'all this the other day, but I have been working on my book. I've been writing the last few weeks. It is in the editor's hands. Hopefully it will be coming out in the month of February. And guys, this book is all about rest, identity, belonging, understanding who you are in God and how he loves you. And so I cannot wait for this book to come out. We're actually going to go through the book in our retreat weekend. So it's going to be a very special for me, very special for you weekend for us to sit down intimately together and go through this journey of the book that I've written. And it's going to be an amazing weekend. Let me move the graphic here off the bottom. There we go. So we do have some limited space available. If you want to jump in on that retreat, come and join us, guys. You can do a 3-month payment plan if you need to. This includes your lodging, your shirt, your goodie bag, everything you need for the weekend. It is going to be a life-changing weekend. We only have 20 slots available, and I think there's only 6 slots left. So if you are at this retreat, it's because God has appointed you to be there, and it is going to be an assignment and an appointment for you. And so I'm believing for amazing, life-changing weekend. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you join us. You can go to LatoyaLackeyMinistries.com and register for that retreat. Now, next week, I want to tell you about next week's guest before I tell you about tonight's guest. Next week, we're going to be continuing a theme that we're starting tonight around our bodies. I thought the first of the year would be a great time for us to talk about our health, our mind, soul, and body, our wellness journey, all of the things that we go through, especially us women that are watching and, premenopausal, perimenopausal, all of that good jazz. I thought we're going through so many changes in our lives. Our lives are so busy. There's so much new information out there about health. So tonight kicks off a 2-week health journey that we're going to be talking about with our guests. And so next week will be Angel Falk, and she has a workout program. She's written a great book called Count It Joy. She's got a beautiful testimony. I've actually interviewed her for my His Glory show. That'll be coming out soon. But join us next Monday night for Angel. And then tonight I'm going to tell you about our guest here tonight in just a minute. One thing she's going to touch on is body, soul, and spirit around fitness, around taking care of yourself. We're going to talk about several things on her heart. And then the next 3 weeks after that are our last 3 weeks of the series. So we've got tonight, next week, and then 3 more weeks. We go through the end of February. But my friend Denise Hawley will be joining me the last 3 weeks of this series. And we're really going to break down from a psychological standpoint, from a counseling standpoint, the difference between body, soul, and spirit. We're going to be talking about deliverance, inner healing, how that engages in your body, how you hold trauma. So some of our guests are going to really be touching on several of these topics starting tonight through the next 5 weeks. So you don't want to miss a single episode. Even though it's Thursday, we're going to pick back up on Monday night with Angel. So don't miss that. Now, for tonight's guest, this is Stacey Lawson is going to be joining us tonight. She has been in the health and wellness, fitness side of things for 30 years. She has an amazing health journey and story. She's just written a book called Inside Out. I know this is backwards, but just use your imagination, guys. Inside Out. And it's a great book. I was reading through it the last week, and it's got some really good stuff in here, guys. You can get this on Amazon. And cannot wait for you to meet her. She is a sweet friend of mine. We've known each other for quite a while now. And let me see if I can bring you on, sis. Let's see. There you are. Hey, Stacey.
How are you?
So good to have you tonight. I'm so glad that we were able to do this and get the snow out of the way. And
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? Anytime there's a delay in something, though, I'm like, okay, God, there's a reason why you wanted us to do it tonight and not last week. So, you watching, you may have needed to get some things out of the way, out of your brain. The Lord may have been talking to you this week about some of this stuff. So I believe you're prepared and ready in your spirit to hear what my sister has to say tonight. So, without further ado, Miss Stacey, why don't you go ahead and share your heart with us?
Okay. All right. Well, as Latoya was telling you about my book, I'm going to start with just giving you a little history of how it came about. So I've been a trainer for over 30 years now and a health coach. Um, the first 15 years, I had the workout side down. I was healthy outwardly, in great shape, but I didn't eat right. I lived on fast food. Literally every meal was fast food, and so that'll eventually take a toll on your body. I got to thinking today, and it's like thinking back, and oh, I mean, literally, if y'all knew what I ate, it was horrible. Even my breakfast, it was like a package of powdered donuts, from the gas station, and a Dr. Pepper, and then McDonald's for lunch with the Dr. Pepper. I didn't drink water back then. I didn't like water. So anyway, that along with some long-term stress, just life circumstances caught up with me, and I had just one health issue after the other. It was a ripple effect. And during that time, I took a route. So when I saw this holistic doctor, it changed everything. It changed my view of food because 3 months later, I was completely healed, felt better than I'd felt in 15 years. Yeah. And I wish could say I stayed on that journey like permanently. I didn't. I fell off the bandwagon several times and got back on. So I'm human too, but it works. And it did. It changed my mindset about food, which we're going to talk a lot about later. Okay. And then during that time, just realizing how my physical state affected my spiritual state, and the soul plays a huge role in that too. And so tonight, I want to lay a foundation with spirit. And so I'm kind of going to skim over spirit. I just felt like we need to focus more on the soul portion, and then we'll get into the practical side with the body and the fitness part too at the end. Okay. But really out of this, I don't want this just to be a motivational teaching. I want it to be transformational. And so really focusing on a lifestyle approach to your health, and not the yo-yo diets, not the New Year's resolution, because I would say most of us, if we had one, it's probably already stopped what we had planned on doing. So that's normally how it works. So think lifestyle. We want to live long, we want to live healthy and fulfill everything God's called us to do, right? So I'm going to start out reading Romans 12:1, and I'm reading from the Passion Translation. I love the Passion Translation. I do read others, but anyway, this says it, what I want to say better. But it says, beloved friends, what should be our proper response to God's marvelous mercies? To surrender yourselves to God, to be his sacred living sacrifices, and to live in holiness, experiencing all that delights his heart. So I'm going to say that again. What delights his heart? For this becomes your genuine expression of worship. So how we live our lives is our expression of worship to the Lord. And so when I was thinking about that, what came to me was the book, The 5 Love Languages. You're going to think, what does this have to do about health? But bear with me, okay? But if you've read it, I'm sure most of you have read it, or you're at least familiar with it. But those love languages, they're not about what we like. When you're in a relationship, it's about what the other person likes and what makes them feel loved. And so it's the same way in our worship to the Lord. But I really believe that that's not just our spiritual walk, but that relates to our soul and our body as well. It's about pleasing him and stewarding our bodies. And so again, I said, I'm going to skim over the spirit. Not that that's less important. It's not. It's very important. But I feel like you guys, you're probably just well-rounded in that area. But it's all about relationship with the Lord. Do you have a healthy prayer life? Are you in the Word daily? Are you doing what God's telling you to do? Are you being obedient to what he's called you to do? But then your soul, and I feel like we skip over this. Our soul is our mind, will, and emotions. And I feel like we just kind of say that and run right past it. But with the mind, it's renewing our mind. And we're going to talk tonight about, and it's not just renewing it with the word, but it's renewing, again, what I said earlier about myself. I had to renew my mind about food and my relationship with food, because that's what's going to change everything. Not just the temporary goals and the quick fixes. And then with our will, it's bringing our will into submission with the decisions we make. It's not giving in to our cravings, the things that we want or think we have to have. Emotions, not letting your emotions rule you or your decisions. And so when it comes down to emotions, there's so many things that can affect our emotional state. But two of the big ones are past hurts and trauma. And I'm sure if you're connected with Latoya, y'all have dealt with that a lot. And so if you need some help there, connect with Latoya. But unresolved issues in your soul will roll over into other parts of your life, spiritually and physically. Just like what I walked through. At the time, I was dealing with long-term stress, and I believe that played a huge role in a lot of the health issues I had, along with the bad eating for so long. And to so many women I've worked with over the years, I can name numerous ones that their physical state definitely was affected by their emotional state. And that came in the form of emotional eating most of the time. That, they used food for comfort. Food was their drug of choice. So we have to get to the root in order to be completely free and to be whole. And there's two words you're going to hear me say a lot. I've probably already said them. You're going to hear them multiple times tonight, okay? It takes discipline and consistency when tending to our bodies. Those are the keys, okay? But both of these are difficult when you're ruled by your emotions. So we have to get our souls healthy in order to get our bodies healthy. So then I'm going to read another scripture here. This is kind of the basis of my book. But this is 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God? And you are not your own, for you were bought at a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. And there's several translations that just say glorify God in your body. So to me, that says it's pretty important, that God wants us to take care of our bodies. So my question to you is, how many of you tend to your body with the same diligence that you tend to your spirit? So that's definitely something to think about. Because we do. We've got, as the body of Christ, we've got the spirit thing down. We do. We've got the relationship with the Lord. But, and there's no condemnation tonight in anything I say. That is not what this is about. It's not the basis of my book. It's solely to make you aware of the importance of tending to your body. Because there's more to being the temple of the Holy Spirit than just tending to our spirits. So, and I'm going to read you. I got a couple more scriptures. I want to give you that foundation before we jump in to the fun stuff. Not that this isn't fun, but
you're good. Keep going.
1 Corinthians 9:27. And Latoya, I've totally forgot to set my timer here. So you just nudge me when it's time to stop. Okay.
You're fine.
But 1 Corinthians 9:27, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I preach to others, I myself become disqualified. So now I'm going to read it in the Passion Translation. And y'all listen, this is good stuff, okay? But I train like a champion athlete. I subdue my body and get it under my control, so that after preaching the good news to others, I myself won't be disqualified. So that word subdue, where it says, I subdue my body and get it under my control. Here's the definition for this. This is going to make you want to get up and do some sprints or some squats or push-ups or something, okay? So listen, it means to conquer by force and bring under dominion, crushing or overpowering something to the point of disabling further resistance, to gain control or mastery over something or someone through force or exertion of superior power. So you know what that means? That means it's up to us. It's up to you to do whatever it takes to tend to your health, get your health and your body where they need to be. And again, here comes that discipline and that consistency. Okay. And it's not a vanity thing. It's not about being a size 2 or a size 4. This is about lifelong health. It's about lifestyle. And that's what I want to drill into you tonight. It's just a lifestyle of health. And we can't do it in our own strength. We can go so far in our own strength. And that's where, again, the spirit side comes in. It's that relationship with the Lord. He will strengthen us. He'll give us the grace, the discipline, the ability to do everything we need to do. But it is up to us to take the practical steps, the necessary steps, and apply what we know. And which brings up another scripture, be doers of the word, not hearers only. And so how many of us have heard a message and walked away going, that was amazing. That's like the best thing I've ever heard. But then we never applied any of it. I'm guilty. So it's the same. It's the same with our bodies. We have to apply what we're learning. And so I want to encourage you to do that tonight. Don't walk away with just saying, oh, that's good information, but start applying the practical things that I'm going to give you tonight, because information won't change you, right? It's the application that's going to change us and bring transformation. So we're already to the practical steps. I just wanted to set that up for you.
I love it. Let's go.
Everybody really wants to go. So practical steps to tending to your health and your body. And this is going to look different for each one of you, depending on your lifestyle, your schedule, your home life, your fitness level. But again, 2 things. And this is where I want you to type it in the chat. If you miss this, you are not listening. Okay. Type in the chat 2 things that it takes to really transform your health. What are those 2 things? Tell me if we have a winner, Latoya. If you read my book, you already know the answer. And if you've been listening to me, you already know the answer.
Just type that into the chat. I'm trying to give them a second to respond here. We've got people responding. So, okay. Yeah. Miss Sheila said, yeah, information won't change you. It's the application. Amen. Amen. So
that's
guys,
a good answer, Miss Sheila, but not the right one.
There are 2 things it takes to transform your health.
2 things.
So, okay.
And what does transform your health? It'll transform your life.
Discipline and consistency.
Yes. Yes. Did we get more than one person that answered that?
Yeah, is that what you were looking for?
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, Miss Sheila got it. She popped in there.
Good job. Good job. Discipline and consistency. Discipline is what you do when you don't feel like it. So when you're sitting on that sofa drinking your coffee and your PJs and you need to be doing a workout, you know what you do? You just get up, you put on your workout clothes, and you do the workout, whether you feel like it or not. So the combination of discipline and consistency will set you up for a lifestyle of health and success. That's in any area, you know. So to the practical lifestyle changes. Number 1, if you know me, you'll know this is my favorite, sleep, of which I would normally be doing right now. I go to bed between 8 and 8:30 every night. I must really like Latoya. And all of you, but
I'm just shocked you're here. She really likes to go to bed early.
Listen, I had a glass of green juice. I did 2 little mini workouts between 6 and 7. I put peppermint oil on my neck, so I'm good for a little while. I'm awake. That's what counts. But sleep is so important. We need 7 to 9 hours a night, really, for our bodies to restore and recover like they need to. Sometimes that's out of our control. I'll use myself as an example. We're talking about menopause. Listen, I had it 2 years ago, and my sleep has been so disrupted. I haven't slept through the night in 2 years. So I am intentional about my sleep. I guard it with every fiber of my being. Again, I'm in bed between 8 and 8:30 every night, except special occasions. I'm up between 4 and 4:30. But I'm high maintenance when it comes to my sleep. I don't look at my phone an hour before I go to bed. If I get a text, I'm holding it out here, just trying not to, look at the light. But I have my cooling sheets. I have my box fan, my ceiling fan, my earplugs, my blackout shades, whatever it takes. Guard your sleep. And it might take saying no. Like, we don't go to dinner with friends because I eat dinner at 4:30. Most people don't eat dinner at 4:30. So, but it's really, you've got to find what works for your schedule and be consistent. because there really is something to it, especially when you're in menopause and even post-menopause. Just that consistent bedtime, consistent wake up time is huge. Um, and two, just a little tip: every hour of sleep you get before midnight is equal to double what you get after midnight. So there's something to going to bed early, getting up early. That's because you're getting double the sleep. And that's when the recovery takes place, is in those first few hours of sleep as well. So that's number one. Number two, healthy diet, consistent healthy diet. Because how many know you can't just eat one healthy meal in a day and eat junk the rest of the day and get results? I'm going to relate that to the spirit side too. It's kind of like we pray a prayer of faith, or we make a decree, but then we turn around and we gripe and complain about the thing we just confessed, and it just kind of avoids that. Anybody guilty of that? But yeah, so we have to be consistent. And there's a difference. If this is new to you and you're just now getting in a healthy routine, trying to eat right, and you do one healthy meal, that is great. So that is a start. So I'm not condemning that at all. But the long-term goal is for every meal to be that way. And I want to throw this in because I feel like, and this is what I used to do when I would put somebody on a meal plan years ago, it's night and day different. And I would always say, oh, you can have your cheat day. I don't agree with that anymore. That's totally changed my mindset on that, because that cheat day can totally throw off everything. And I'll give you an example. We don't eat out much. I ate out probably 2 weeks ago. Daniel had a gift card, my husband, to Puckett's, which, it's country cooking. But I didn't eat bad. Yeah, I didn't even eat bad. I came home, my head was spinning. I was so dizzy. I woke up the next day and I felt horrible, like all day. And I was like, Lord, what is this? And then it just hit me. It's like, I guarantee you it's the oils that they cook everything in. So I Googled it, what they cook their oil in, the food in. It was canola oil. And we're going to get to that too, just the canola oil, the seed oil. It's just, they're horrible for you. So that one meal set me back 2 days, so I don't believe in cheat meals. So once we get on track, do your best to stay on track, because it's worth it. Okay. We don't want to feel bad. And so the most important thing, as I mentioned earlier, it's changing our mindset. It's renewing our mind about food. God created our bodies, and he created certain foods to fuel our bodies. And that's what food will do. It's either going to fuel it or it's going to contaminate it, like it did me. And the word says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And so we need to know what's in the foods we're eating. And I think today, thankfully, more and more it's being exposed of what's in our foods. But we still have to be diligent to do our research, because there's a lot of false information out there as well. There's so many AI generated videos just trying to promote products, so you have to be careful with that. But reading labels, and I don't mean like the front of the package, I mean flip it over, read the ingredients, because if it says organic, I guarantee you there's a seed oil in there, or there's canola oil. I was at Fresh Market the other day and something looked good, and I was like, and again, it looked healthy on the package. Flipped it over, sure enough, canola oil. And so that's a no-go. And most packaged things have those seed oils and the canola oil, along with other horrible ingredients. So you just can't bank on the organic label these days. You've got to know what's in the food you're eating. And my goal, and even in my book, is for it to be simple and doable. And it really is simple. Again, it takes discipline, but it's going back to the basics, going back to what God created us for us to eat. And that's just simply fruits, vegetables, healthy meats, nuts, seeds, and grains. And so if you are eating those things daily, you don't need anything else. Your body will be satisfied. Like today, I don't buy a lot of snacks. I buy my protein snacks. It's past my bedtime. I get my beef sticks, my protein bars, and that's pretty much it. I don't do a lot of extra. So we really can live on the basics. And 3 things that we need to focus on daily getting is protein, good fats, and fiber. And again, if you focus on this, that you can get all that and everything I just named. And I'm going to go over each one of these. So if you want to write this stuff down, and again, it's pretty basic, but your protein, you've got your grass-fed beef, but there's also, just be aware of this, there's grass-fed beef, grass-fed, grass-finished, but there's grass-fed, grain-finished. And I get my beef from the farmer's market. And I just became aware this past week that the place I was getting it from, because I always ask, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's grass-fed. But a friend of mine told me, she's like, oh, no, theirs is grain-finished. So now I got to go back to my old vendor I was going to and go to 2 different farmers markets. That goes back to do whatever it takes to eat healthy. So
What's the difference there, Stacey? What's the difference in those?
Well,
why is it
grass-fed? All cows eat grass, but then these other ones that are grain finished, they're eating grains as well. That, and those grains are loaded with who knows what, whether it's corn products or, you don't know what you're getting, but that's what you're eating, So you want grass-fed, grass-finished for it to be pure grass-fed beef. And then you've got your wild-caught salmon and other wild-caught fish. Every fish is not good, so no tilapia, no catfish, nothing fried. You got salmon. You can do cod, wild-caught cod, mahi-mahi, halibut. Those are all good. And then for protein, still eggs, nuts and seeds. And I kind of want to hit on, I know I'm just running through all this, but we could hang out on this portion for hours, So if you have questions on it, just let us know.
And y'all type in your questions into the chat for Stacey, those who are watching live.
Yeah. And especially this, because and I'm going to hit on something that's like a new rage right now. There's always something new. But so I typically get 80 to 90 grams of protein per day. And I used to not get that much. So I had to up it when I hit menopause because I was deflating quickly. All the muscle that I built up over 30 years, like, was gone in a week. No kidding. But it's not just about that. It's not about just building muscle. It's being strong, having strong bones, and just for your brain capacity, But there's so much out there right now, and it's all about literally even, older women just being ripped. If you don't know what ripped is, it's just like solid muscle, okay? Like the six pack. I haven't, even though I've trained for 33 years, I lost my six pack a long time ago. But I mean, they tell you want, and that's why I say be careful when you're watching this stuff online, because they'll be like, oh, you got to get 120, 130 grams of protein. For one, it's really hard to do. Like, it made me sick doing it. But I'm also a believer, just in my holistic route, listening to my doctor. It'll tax your kidneys, your liver. Some proteins are just really hard for your body to process. So you have to be careful. Some of these videos, like there's, one that she's just talking about protein, and she looks amazing, but she's eating a fried Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, so it's not necessarily the healthy route to go. So you have to look at that. But you just don't have to do that. I think as women of God too, we've got to find that balance. We want to tend to our bodies, but we don't want that to be our sole focus, to where every day is, oh, I've got to have this much protein, or I've got to work out this much, or I've got to, it just can't be it can't be vanity, But protein is important, especially in this stage of life. And now, okay, good fats. I'm going to move on for time's sake. Good fats are your oils, your coconut oil, olive oil. You've got grass-fed butter, ghee. I've switched to using a lot of ghee now. I did everything with coconut oil and still do some, but I had some issues going on, and so I had to kind of lay off some of the coconut oil. But then you've got your salmon again, avocados, nuts, and seeds. And then your fiber you can get from your fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And you can also do powder form. I don't do it every day, but some days I'll put it in my smoothie if I feel like I didn't have enough fiber that day. So those are just your basics to get in every day. And if you focus on that, you just don't need a whole lot more. Now, drum roll. You want to give me a drum roll? Number 3. Number 3, and practical things, exercise. That word people don't want to hear. You want to post those videos? I mean, those pictures?
Yep. Yeah, I can do that.
This is just for your entertainment. Will they post? Can you post them all at the same time?
No, I have to switch.
Will they go?
Yeah, I can keep thumbing through them.
Okay. Because what I want you to do is I want you to find yourself in one of these pictures. And don't everybody say number one. I'm going to pretend you just had an intense workout and is taking a nap now. But here it's seeing two. I thought this would be more fun than just, normal women in their workout clothing. So I thought these were cute. But find yourself in this. And then what we want to do, we don't want to stay in that place. We want to progress, to continually progress. So find that picture where you want to be. We all want to be number 5, right? I'm just kidding. That's extreme, but so anyway, that was just for fun.
Yeah.
But exercise is so important, and we have to make this a regular part of our week. It can't just be when we feel like it or when we have extra time. It has to be a priority. And again, it's for health. And I want you to look at everything in that way, a lifestyle of health, not just getting in shape, not because I want to look this way, but because I want to feel good and I want to glorify God in my body. And with your workouts, I've always told my clients, schedule your workouts because something will always get in the way. So find out what days work for you. Okay. Let's just say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because then you have rest days in between. Okay. Unless you're doing more than that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But schedule them, and even schedule a specific time of the day. Like if you're going to do it at 9:00 in the morning, because I promise something will come up. And so you have to guard that time just like you would any other appointment. And don't let anything get in the way unless you have like a legit emergency. Because again, something will always take the place of that. So write it down, write it on your calendar, and then make sure you do it.
Stacey, I have a question. Does it matter if you're doing morning workouts or evening workouts? Does that matter, or is it just as long as you're getting it done? Because I'm a morning workout person. Chris is an evening workout person. So
it is. Yeah, there's been so many myths on that over the years. It's whatever works for you and your body. Like there was a season where I did all nights, like I would, because I taught classes. And so my workouts were always 5:30 to 6:30 at night, but then when I trained during the day too, I would work out some with clients, but my main workout was normally at night, but then it flipped, and now most of the time I do mornings. And so it's just what works with your schedule and your body and when you're going to have more energy for your workout to be productive.
And that's good. And one of our comments here, there's a lady, she said, I clean the house 3 days a week. And then she walks on her days off. I know, I clean houses too. So I'm on the side, and I know when I have a large house to clean, I mean, it's nothing for me to get 6,500, 7,000 steps just doing that house. And then when I get off, I'm like, whoo, I don't want to go to the gym. So it's like, is that okay to count that as a workout if you have a super
job,
I am job?
And you're definitely moving, and that's great. And I get it. I would be exhausted too. And so what I would do, I really wouldn't count that as a workout. I would still get in your other workouts throughout the week.
Well, throughout the week, but for that day.
For that day, I mean,
like that counts as something.
I am, and this is where, and again, you're probably going to get 100 different answers. You line up 100 trainers. That's just how everything works. I'm a believer in getting in your steps and having that movement. But I believe too, and it just depends on what stage of life you're in. Where we are right now, we really, and I'm going to get into this, just even the walking's changed everything for me, where I always did high intensity cardio. That's counterproductive for us right now. And so your days of walking, not just steps, but just that consistent walking, whether you're doing, if it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. And then we're going to talk about weights and stuff in just a little bit. So the steps are good, but I wouldn't really count that as a workout, to answer your question.
I got you.
Even though you're tired from it.
Yeah, I work my tail off.
It is work. Well, because I even feel like yard work, like I do, yard work. And it's a different kind of workout, but I wouldn't really consider that as my workout day.
Okay. Means I have to.
Okay.
Hoping that would
and
count.
Ladies, I hate to break this to you, but age is not a factor. And so I'm going to give you an example. When I taught my classes and did boot camps, I had 60 and 70-year-old women that would totally outdo the 20-year-olds because they were committed. They were consistent. They were at every class. And so they gradually built up that endurance and that strength where these 20-year-olds, nothing against 20-year-olds, they're great. But, they just come be bopping in. They hadn't worked out in a month, and, we're all, it's Saturday. Let's go work out and do a boot camp. 20 minutes in, they're done. They couldn't make it. And two, their diet was about like my diet was when I was in my 20s, And so, but the age is not a factor. So just know that it's not too late to start. You can be as healthy as you want to be. You can be as fit as you want to be. Okay. And the next one kind of plays into this: slow and steady wins the race. I'm a believer in that, especially when it comes to working out. There's no rush to get to a certain place unless you're doing some kind of bodybuilding competition, Start at your fitness level and gradually build up. And that's the safest way to do it too. And same with your eating. I know we didn't cover a lot of that, but it's just one step at a time, one day at a time. You're not going to go cold turkey. You're not going to change your eating overnight, and you're not going to be, doing an advanced workout in 2 days. So take it at your own pace and do you. Don't try to compare your workout to somebody else's. It's great to have a workout partner for that accountability. But if they're more advanced than you, don't feel like you have to keep up with them. I used to tell people in my classes, it's like, take it at your own pace. For one, you're going to injure yourself if you don't. And so do you. Okay. But, and there's that balance. You want to push yourself. And we're going to talk about that in a second too. But you have to take it at your own pace and just gradually build up and build endurance. Okay. How are we on time?
We've got about 10 more minutes ish.
Okay. We're good. This is the end right here. And this, I'm going to start out with what the ideal workout week should look like. And this is minimum. Okay. If you're advanced and you've been in this for a while, this is going to look different for you. Okay. So this is minimum 3 days of walking and 2 to 3 days of weight training or resistance training, which that can be bands. I mean, eventually you need to add in weights regardless. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cause that's where you're really going to build muscle, strengthen your bones. The bands are good. The bands are what I do on like my light day. When I've done my weights and my legs, I'm just like, my legs are tired. I'm tired. And on a bad sleep night, I do a band workout the next day because it's just easier. It's not easy. It can be as hard as you want it to be. But 3 days of walking or even other cardio, like in the summer, you can swim. Swimming is great. And it's great even for toning. I used to teach water aerobics, it's great for you. So, but if you're a beginner, start walking 3 days and just do that consistently. And then once you get that down, add in your weights or your resistance bands and start with 2 days and then build up to 3 days to that ideal week. Okay. And if you're already walking right now, get started on those weights, add those in like immediately. And then again, if you're advanced already, then start challenging yourself and increasing your weight. So the ultimate goal, especially in menopause, is because we don't build muscle like we used to. The goal is, I'm going to try to explain this in an easy way. Let's just say you're doing bicep curls. Okay. And you're a beginner, you're starting out with 3 or 5 pounds. And so you should be able to curl quite a bit with the lighter weights. So let's just say you're doing 10 or 15 reps. Okay. And you're going to do that. The goal is to do everything 3 times through. But when those 10 or 15 reps get easy, it should be to where those last 2 reps, you're barely getting them out. Like it should be hard. Okay. So that's when you need to advance. You need to increase your weight. So at that point, you're going to go up to 8 pounds. That would be the next weight size. But then you're going to lower your reps. So does that make sense? So you would do 8 pounds. Go up to 8 pounds and do 8 to 10 reps. And again, that's going to look different for everybody. Yeah. So if you're on, rep 6 and you can barely lift it, then it's time to stop. Mm-hmm. And so with every exercise, that should be your goal, to get to where you're doing less reps with heavier weight. Mm-hmm. And again, heavy is relative to everybody. So
and it's important to do heavy weights especially for women in perimenopause or menopause. I mean, for the reason, what I've been hearing anyway, is there's a lot of talk about, well, again, whatever your heavy is, everyone's heavy is different, but heavy lifting, that it's important to do those smaller reps with the heavier weight, because again, as building your muscle is also building your metabolism. It's building your bone density. Like it's doing so much more in your body. Like, and you're not going to get bulky. So those of you that are like, I don't want to be bulky.
Trust me. You would have to be lifting like 300 pounds to get bulky at this stage of life. I promise.
It's not going to happen. Just do.
Not going to happen. I promise. Listen, I'm working overtime trying to just keep my muscles. And I'm only doing like 25 pounds is the heaviest. And that's for lower body. And again, that will look different, ladies. Upper body. Lower body, you'll be able to do more. Like I'm just holding, 15, 20 pound dumbbells, doing lunges or squats or something. But then when I'm curling and doing, depending on what upper body movement I'm doing, I typically don't go over 15 pounds, not at this point anyway. And so again, everybody's going to be different.
That's good. That's good.
So that's really it. Consistency is key. And just knowing the more you do it, the easier it will get.
I love it. I love it. This has been great information. I hope you guys have written down. So number 1 is sleep. Number 2 is eating healthy. And number 3 is exercise. And guys, it truly is about a lifestyle change, and that's something Chris and I have been really working on the last 2 years, is just a total lifestyle change. And it is easier when your family's on board, when your spouse is on board, but even when they're not, you can still do it. You can still do it. But I'm very thankful that my husband's on board with this right now. And I did want to share something I heard the other day, and this really helped me on the days where it's hard to do the things. Is I heard a guy say, he said, discipline is you pushing through the 5 to 10 minutes of hard. Like the 5 to 10 minutes it takes for you to just like suck it up and put on your shoes and get in the vehicle and drive to the gym, right? Like if you can just get through that part, you're good. Like if you can get through the 5 to 10 minutes of actually getting out your treadmill, putting the clothes off of it, whatever that looks like for you, but like just get through that 5 to 10 minute window. That's all you have to discipline your mental status for. And then you're good. So I thought that was really a good piece of advice. It helped me anyway. There's been a couple of days where I'm like, I can get through the next 5 minutes and make it to the gym.
But even in your workouts, it's the same thing. When you start out and you're just like, I can't do this. I promise you 10 minutes into it, most of the time you'll be okay. And you'll be like, I can do this. You'll get your energy. But you do have to push through that time. But there's sometimes, like, again, on nights that I don't sleep well, but it's listening to your body to some extent. Again, sometimes you just have to challenge it. But if you can't do as much that day, it's just doing something.
Yeah. If you're just starting out, guys, this is something else that I was working on while we were traveling. Was I knew we were going to be traveling. I knew working out was going to be a challenge on vacation, right? And like doing the different things. And so I just told myself, I'm like, every single day, I just want to make sure I show up. So, like there was one day that we only had like 20 minutes before we had to go to another thing, an appointment thing on our vacation and all this. And I'm like, I'm just going for 20 minutes, like whatever I can get in. I just want to make sure I showed up and I didn't put up a 0 that day. Like that was my win for the day. I didn't get in a full workout, but I didn't put up a 0 that day. So that's some, if you're just getting started, like she said, just go take a walk, I know it's cold outside, but go take a walk, or walk around your living room, walk around your house. Just don't put up a 0 that day. Just get moving your body and start moving in the direction that you need to be in, right?
And rebound. If you have a rebounder, mini trampoline.
Somebody posted about a rebounder. Talk about that for just a second. Like that's a big fact right now.
It is. It's so good just for the lymphatic system. But in what I'm doing, just again, because it's so cold, like I miss my walks like crazy because I would do that first thing in the morning, like at 6:30, when it was light out. But like even today, it was one of those things I literally didn't sleep all night. And so I got out. I knew I couldn't do. I did 2 days of weights, before that. So I got out my rebounder. I jumped, and I didn't do anything intense. I'm literally just bouncing on it, And I do a couple of minutes, and I'd get off and do a couple. I did push-ups, and I did an ab exercise, and I would repeat that cycle. So it was really a mini workout.
Yeah.
But again, it's something. But yeah, the rebounder is great for so many things. And even if you just do 3 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day, I mean, if you can go longer than that and stay on it consistently for, 5, 10 minutes, that's great. But if not, you can break it up and just do segments throughout the day.
What about the vibration plates? Are those good?
I don't think so.
Really?
I feel like it's like that old thing, that used to roll that you would sit on.
I always think of those belts, the belts that go around your waist that they used to have.
Yes. And again, I just think there's so many contraptions out there. It's just all about, somebody's trying to sell something. I don't know. Maybe it does do something. I'm not a believer in it.
I like the vibration plate. I will disagree there. So I like the vibration plate, but I don't use it for a workout. It does make me feel really good when I'm sitting at my desk all day, and I just need to like you said, I can feel it. It's like that lymphatic system thing. I can feel it shaking my body loose, and it feels like it really energizes me. So I do like it for that. I don't work out on it or replace a workout with it.
I don't think you're going to lose weight from it.
Right. I would say that. Yeah. But I love how it makes me feel, and it does get my circulation going first thing in the morning. I feel like.
It's probably like the rebounder in that sense.
Yeah, I do like that. So this has been good. This has been very good. Do you guys have any questions in the chat? Everybody's saying you did a great job. They enjoyed this so much. One was talking about even flag dancing at worship at church and things. I love Zumba. I do Zumba a couple of times a week. That's in my workout routine. So
those things are good, but just keeping in mind, like especially this stage, and it depends on what stage of life you're in. But you want to do the things you enjoy because that's going to keep you going. But you want to do the hard things. You want to do the weights.
Yeah.
And walking's not hard to me. It's actually fun. I love that time. But yeah, challenge yourself.
I love it. Guys, go get Stacey's book. Let me see if I can I don't know if I can get any bigger here. Let's see. There we go. Go get Stacey's book. It's called Inside Out, and it is Living Healthy, Spirit, Soul, and Body. It's an easy read, guys. It's got some great information in here. She gives some really good tips, how to exercise, how to think about even healing in your body when you've gone through trauma, how that affects you mentally, how it affects your body. So really good stuff in here. You can get that over at Amazon. Definitely do that. Stacey, this has been so good. So if you had to give one action item for everybody watching, what should they do starting tomorrow? What's one thing that everybody can do that they need to get done?
Everybody can do start. I would say walk, but it's really cold out. I'm not even doing that right now. I would say on the eating end, literally just start with adding one healthy thing in, one of those things we talked about, and taking one bad thing out. And do that for a solid week. That's just like an easy thing for anybody to do. So whatever your weakness is, start weaning from it this week.
So good. Guys, who's going to do that? Who's going to do that with us? I love it. And it really is, it's the small changes over time, that I started where I worked with you over a year ago, and just, again, small changes over time. It does help. And I don't know if you're taking on any personal training clients, she also does that. You can get in contact with her about that too. But guys, I'm telling y'all, this book is great. And it's the simple things that most of us don't even change because we think, that's too simple. It can't be that easy. It really is. It's the small things that add up over time that are going to make the big difference for you. So thank you guys for watching tonight. Y'all are amazing. Thank you, Stacey. You are awesome. Thank you for talking to us tonight. This has been so good. Such a blessing. So guys, make sure you join us next week. We're going to have Angel Falk on, and she is going to be talking about fitness as well. So again, we're getting into a theme here, and then we're going to have 3 weeks of me and Denise Hawley talking about healing in your body, healing in your spirit, healing in your soul, and going through deliverance, some different things like that, mindset work. You don't want to miss all that's coming up over the next few weeks on Monday nights at 8:00. Grab a friend and join us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, Stacey, again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Y'all have a good night.